So friends, we are here to explore the art of meditative dialogue. And this art of dialogue is also connected with the art of living. So a deep dialogue, a deep living with a sense of happiness, peace, they are all connected. And today we are going to explore one of the most essential aspect of this meditative dialogue or self-inquiry, and that is listening and seeing. One of the problems with humanity is that we are living our life dominated by thought and memories. As J. Krishnamurti always pointed out, how we are the prisoners of conditioning of so many years, thousands of years, conditioning of our whole past baggage. So our daily life is lived more or less in a mechanical way, in a reactive way. And the whole purpose of a deep self-inquiry is to shift from a mechanical, reactive living to a life which is non-reactive, which is flowering in presence, if I can say, living with presence, living with attention. So this shift from non-reactivity to attention, that is the deep intention of self-inquiry or a dialogue. And though our whole mind or consciousness may be conditioned, but there are certain potentials hidden inside each one of us. And to awaken those potentials is perhaps the deeper intention of the teachings. And one of the potential is this deep listening. And this deep listening is like stepping out of our conditioned field. So this could be a tool to step out of our mechanical way of living. So what is this deep listening? Let us explore it together as friends. How do we listen? How are we listening now? Can we pay attention to this? What is the quality of listening here and now? In order to listen, one of the basic foundation is that our minds are quiet. Is there a certain quietness now? Just being aware. We don't have to force ourselves to be quiet, but just being aware what is the state of mind now. If it is noisy, simply being aware of it. There is nothing wrong in discovering what is now. There is no need to judge it. If mind is noisy, chattering, maybe we have spent a day and there is a sense of rush. So can we allow our body, our minds, our hearts to really settle down, to calm down? Is there a sense of slowing down? Because listening can happen when the mind is quiet, when our whole being is quiet, is not in a rush. And in a dialogue, there is no a prefixed destination that we have to reach somewhere or arrive at a certain point. So can we let go of our sense of rushing now and listen? Can I invite myself to listen, not just from the place of thought or memory, When I'm listening only from my knowledge, then the listening is limited. So can I listen from a deep emptiness, from a deep quiet state of our being? When I am listening, is there any comparison happening? If any comparison is happening, if I am comparing with what I have heard earlier and what I am hearing now, then I can be aware that listening is being prevented. So now I can learn what prevents this listening. Comparison can prevent listening. So can I let go of that comparison? Just seeing that it is blocking the listening. If there is any motive in this listening, and the motive comes from our past conditioning, so can I be aware of it? That this motive can prevent my listening just by being aware of it. So is it possible to listen without any motive? Is it possible to listen without any judgment? So if any judgment is coming, can I be aware of it? So in this way, I can learn what is blocking the listening. So it is interesting that it's not that I have to create listening. The listening will flow by bringing attention to what is blocking it. So can we say in a deep sense, this capacity of listening is there, but it is hidden under all these layers. This layer of comparison, this habitual judgments, the motive. So can I listen with all my heart here and now? Which means, can I listen without any image? We can see that how image comes in the way of listening. When I'm listening to a friend, to my partner, to a colleague, to anyone, can I be aware that if I have an image, that image prevents listening? Because I have already made up my mind that that person is like that, and I can expect only this from that person. So in this way, I am confining my listening. So what does deep listening mean? Does it mean that in the moment of deep listening, I'm stepping out of the zone of my ego mind? Because self, as Krishnamurti has pointed out often, is made up of all these elements: the images, the past baggage, the reactivity from the past baggage, judgments, comparison. All that baggage is the ego. All the movements of the memories and thoughts. And when I'm really listening, isn't it, there is a stepping out of from that whole field of conditioning, which means my whole mind is quiet. In this listening, there is no interference of thought or the me. So when I'm listening, can I be aware if there is any separation brought about by thought? So it's simply paying attention to that, to see that how separation is preventing my listening. And separation is caused by images, by judgments, by motive. So can I listen deeply, profoundly, here and now? Which means stepping out of this whole field of the ego or the conditioning. And when I'm listening deeply from my whole being, from my whole heart, then there is no separation as me and you. And I feel then there is a beginning of deep togetherness. And in this deep togetherness, there is affection. Then I can listen. So deep listening is actually an act of this deep togetherness, or you can call it love. So without love, can listening happen? Then I have to force myself. If there is no this deep interest, this deep affection, then my listening is very dry. It's mechanical. And when I'm listening from a space of silence, from the space of emptiness, there is no projection of the mind. I'm not projecting my ideas upon you. I'm not projecting any image. Then there is a freedom. So, in a deep sense, listening is also an act of freedom. So, am I free to listen now? Even to ask this question can invoke uh, this energy of listening. Am I really free to listen here and now? Without answering it or whether I am free or not, just asking this question deeply. Am I really listening here and now? And in this deep moment of listening, my mind is free to observe, to look what is. So from this listening, looking can flow, observation can flow. So when I'm not listening, my sense of observation is also blocked. That's why listening and observation, they go together. Usually my mind is busy with what should be and what should not be. And this is the cause of inner noise. And when my psyche is clouded by this pressure, this baggage of should be and should not be, I'm not free. I'm not free to look, to observe as you are. I'm not free to look and observe as I am. That's why this freedom is necessary for listening and looking. And when the mind, when our whole being is quiet, that freedom is there. So listening and looking without any background, is it possible? Can I listen? Can I observe without any background? Can we ask this question without saying, oh, it is possible or not possible? I feel this is the power of the teachings. They enable us to ask impossible questions, seemingly impossible. But once we have some clarity, then we can dare to ask these fundamental questions. Because we realize that listening and observing from any background, because background consists of all our conditioning and past baggage, then what I will listen and what I will observe will be a projection of that baggage. So I won't be looking you as you are. I won't be looking myself as I am, but as defined by my baggage. Then there will be a separation. So there will be a fragmentation inside me and therefore fragmentation outside. And as long as there is fragmentation, there is no peace. And we see the state of the whole world, what is happening. It is a result of our inner fragmentation, the wars, the violence which we see outside. The roots are in our psyche. So if we can address this fragmentation by listening to it, by looking at it, then there is a possibility of deep inner peace. Then we can have this dialogue, a deep meditative self-inquiry with oneself and with the other. So friends, this deep listening is not just verbal listening. Though words are being used, but they are only indicators, they are pointers. So can I listen beyond the words? Not catch the words, but to see the energy which these words are carrying, the silence, the space between the words. Then words will not be all important. Sometimes, or many a times, that words create divisions when we are literally listening. So is it possible to listen beyond the words? Is it possible to look beyond the words? That means connecting to that energy which is beyond the words, that silence, that emptiness. And one of the problems in our inquiry is that we are unfortunately using the tool of the words, the tool of thought and memory. That's why we have to be really careful, because we are using a limited instrument in order to explore if there is something beyond this limitation. So can we use this tool of thought and words with a sense of attention? Then we will not be caught in the words. We can explore beyond the words. One of the challenges in a deep meditative dialogue is that, can we watch ourselves while we are speaking? Can we listen to ourselves? From where I am coming, from where words are coming, just to pay attention to that. Because our intention is not just to share the knowledge about the teachings, but to really existentially live this energy, which is beyond conditioning, which is beyond words. then knowledge will not be predominant in our inquiry. It will have its right place. Then thought will not be predominant. It will have its right place. Words will have their right place. So rather than expressing our opinions, can we really inquire, not from the place of opinions, from knowledge, but from this place of spaciousness, inner spaciousness, from this place of silence. And let there be lot of spaces in our inquiry. We don't have to fill it with words. So there may be natural pauses. So let us welcome those pauses. Don't feel uncomfortable if silence comes.